Hello aspirants. In this model, we are going to discuss a very interesting type of IPR, trademarks. What is a trademark? What is trade? What is mark? The word trade can refer to the action of buying and selling goods and services, whereas the word mark is a sign capable of differentiating the goods or services of one enterprise from those of other enterprises. The word trademark can refer to both trademarks and service marks. What is the difference between trademarks and service marks? Trademark is used for goods, while a service mark is used for services. But sometimes the word trademark can refer to both trademarks and service marks. Now we need to understand what are goods and what are services. Trademark Indian Act 1999. Section 25J define the term goods. What are goods? Goods means anything which is the subject of trade or manufacture. Anything which is the subject matter of business that are called goods. Section 25Z define the term service. What is service? Service means service of any description. Banking, education, chit funding, whatever may be the service of any description, which is made available to the potential users. And service includes the provision of services in connection with the business of any industrial or commercial matters. For better clarity, section 25Z lists out many service descriptions like banking, communication, education, financing, insurance, chit funds, real estate, transport, storage, material treatment, processing, supply of electrical or other energy, boarding, lodging, entertainment, amusement, construction, repair, conveying of news or information and advertising. As we discussed before, mark is a sign which can differentiate goods or services of one enterprise from other enterprises. Section 25M of Trademark Indian Act 1999, mark includes a device, sign may be a device, brand, heading, label, ticket, name, signature, word, letter, numeral, shape of goods, packaging, or combination of colors or any combination thereof. You can use any type of mark, any type of sign to differentiate your goods or services from others. Either you can use any one of the mark or sign, or you can use combination of signs. So now we understood what is mark. Now section 25ZB define the term trademark means a mark capable of being represented graphically, which is capable of differentiating the goods or services of one person from those of others. It may include the shape of goods, their packaging, and combination of colors. The following types of signs can be imagined for your product. Words, company names, surnames, forenames, geographical names, and any other words or set of words, whether invented or not, and slogans. Letters or numerals, one or more letters, one or more numerals, or any combination of thereof. Devices, fancy devices, drawings and symbols, and also two-dimensional representations of good or containers. So this type of signs you can use to differentiate your products from others. Combinations of any of those listed under first, second, and third category, including logo types and labels. Colored marks, words, devices, and combinations thereof in color, as well as color combinations and color as such. You can use colored marks as a differentiating symbol for your products. Three-dimensional signs. A typical category of three-dimensional sign is the shape of the goods or the packaging. Sound marks, audible signs. With the help of sound mark, you can differentiate your product from others. Two typical categories of sound marks can be differentiated. namely those that can be transcribed in musical notes or other symbols. Olfactory marks, smell marks. With the smell of your product, you can differentiate yours from others. Imagine that a company sells its goods with a certain fragrance, and the consumer becomes used to recognizing the goods by their smell. Other invisible signs, example, these are the signs recognized by touch. So with the help of so many signs, so many marks, you can differentiate your products from others. The present slide shows list of trademarks for category of products and services. For sports shoes, Nike, Adidas and Puma, so they are the trademarks for shoe products. And for online shopping services, Amazon and eBay, so they are the trademarks in online shopping services. There are many types of trademarks: product marks, certification marks, collective marks, service marks, shape marks, sound marks, and patent marks. We will discuss each type of trademarks in detail. The first type of trademark is product mark. The name itself denotes that the mark is associated with the product. The product mark helps the product in its identification in the market, and it differentiates this particular product from other similar product. That is called a product mark. Example, Nike shoe. The word Nike and the symbol, the combination of marks, particularly denotes the Nike shoe products. It identifies Nike's unique shoe products in the market. Also, it differentiates Nike shoe products from other similar shoe products. That is called a product mark. The second type of trademark is certification trademark. Indian Trademark Act 1999, Section 25E beautifully defined the term certification trademark. Before seeing the definition, we need to understand 3 points about this. The first point is, what is the purpose of certification? The second point, who certify it? Third point, for what kind of characteristics they are certifying. These 3 points we can understand from this definition of a certification trademark. The first point is, what is the purpose of certification? Means a mark capable of differentiating the goods or services which are certified from goods or services not so certified and registerable. Means the certification trademark differentiate the certified goods or services from non-certified goods or services. That is the main purpose, the first point. Who certify it? They are certified by the proprietor of the mark. The owner of the mark, they themselves certify the goods or services. Third point, for which kind of characteristics they are certifying? They are certifying for its origin of the goods, material of the good, mode of manufacture of goods. In case of services, the performance of services, quality of services, and for the accuracy of services, the certification is provided. Examples of certification marks: BIS hallmark. This trademark you can find in gold and silver jewelry. Bureau of Indian Standards certified the products, gold and silver products, for its quality of material. So when you see the BIS hallmark in gold and silver jewelry, you can understand that the material, the gold and silver, has some standards and quality. You can differentiate these products from non-certified gold and silver jewelry. That is the purpose of certification marks. Second one, UG mark. Though this particular certification mark is provided for agricultural products. The products are certified by Director of Marketing and Inspection of the Government of India. ISI mark for industrial products certified by Bureau of Indian Standards. FPO mark for processed food products certified by Ministry of Food Processing. Eco mark for eco-friendly products certified by Bureau of Indian Standard BIS. Non-polluting vehicle mark, that is for certification mark required on all new motor vehicles, as we know. certified by Central Pollution Control Board of India. Silk mark for pure silk textiles, certified by Silk Mark Organization of India. Herewith we can see the BIS hallmark, certification mark, and UG mark, ISI mark, FPO, ECO mark, non-polluting vehicles. Certification marks are names, symbols, or devices. The main purpose of certification mark is to bring out the standard of the product and guarantee the product to the customers. A very interesting point about certification mark is the proprietor of the mark or the owner of the mark, they are not permitted to use the mark. Who is the owner or proprietor? A party who is certifying the products. They are the proprietor of the mark. Example, in case of gold and jewelry, Bureau of Indian Standards, they are certifying gold and jewelry. They fix a set of standards and qualities. So they are the owner of the mark, but they cannot use this mark. Then who can use this mark? A group or a persons who comply to a set of standards or qualities, they can use this certification mark. Example, in case of gold and jewelry, the BIS hallmark, Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS hallmark, that is the certification mark for gold and jewelry products. Now, a company or persons who comply to a set of standards or qualities fixed by Bureau of Indian Standards, they can use this mark, but they are not the registered owner. What do you mean by that? Means the BIS hallmark can be used by number of company or number of persons, but the only requirement is they need to comply to a set of standards or qualities which are fixed by Bureau of Indian Standards. So certification mark is the legal evidence that the product was successfully tested in accordance with the nationally accredited standard, non-polluting vehicle. That is the certification mark. So it indicates that that particular vehicle was successfully tested in accordance with the nationally accredited standard. And it provides legal assurance that accredited certification organization has ensured that the product was successfully tested is identical to that which is being offered for sale. Certification marks, if in respect of mode of manufacture of goods, then the certification marks provide legal assurance that the manufacturer is being regularly audited by the certification organization to ensure that the maintenance of the original process standard that was employed in the manufacture of the test specimen that passed the test. So conclusively, what advantages do certification marks offer? It guarantees that products follow to a certain standard and hence generate goodwill for the business. It assures the buyers, whether national or international, about the quality of products. It helps to differentiate goods by creating an environment of competence in quality. It informs consumers would always prefer a certified product over a non-certified one. It helped the government maintain control over the industry by mandating legal and quality requirements and conducting routine checks to ensure compliance. A collective mark is a trademark. It is used by the members of a collective. Collectives may be associations, cooperatives, organizations, and unions or public institutions. Indian Trademark Act 1999 Section 25G defined the term collective mark. The definition is collective mark means a trademark differentiating the goods or services of members of an association of persons which is the proprietor of the mark from those of others. From the definition we can understand 3 points. The first point, who is the proprietor of the mark? Association of persons. Who can use the collective mark? The members of that association. They can use the collective mark. What is the purpose of collective mark? Collective mark differentiate the goods or services of members from those non-members. From the definition itself, we can understand the collective marks are used to indicate membership in the group. If you're using that particular collective mark means you are the member of that group or association. The collective marks are used to identify and differentiate the products and services of members from those of the non-members. The mark may be a word, symbol, or group of words. Example of collective marks include McDonald's, a trademark of McDonald's Corporation. So any member of McDonald's Corporation, they can use the collective mark McDonald's. The second example, 100% recycled paperboard. Others associated with the collective are held responsible to adhere to certain standards while using the mark in the course of business. A commonly known collective mark in India is the Chartered Account designation. Another type of trademark is shape mark. The name itself, it denotes the mark associated with the shape of the product. The shape mark is exclusively used to protect the shape of the product, so that the customers find the product related to a certain manufacturer and prefer to buy the product. The shape of a particular product can be registered once it is recognized to have a noteworthy shape, then only it can be registered. Example, shape of the Coca-Cola bottle or Fanta bottle. So they have a different shape. It can be identifiable by the customers with the brand. Another type of trademark is patent mark. Patent marks are the marks consisting of patents or designs that are capable of identifying the goods or services. Products have specific designed patents. That patents are the unique features of that product. That patents differentiate this product from others. For a patent to be registered, it has to show evidence of its uniqueness. Herewith we have given some examples of textile patents. So these are the registered trademarks under the category of patent mark. Another interesting type of trademark is sound mark. What is a sound mark? Sound mark is a sound that can be associated with the product or service originating from a certain supplier. A sound trademark is one that uses sound to perform the trademark function. Signs consisting of a sound which are capable of differentiating the goods or services of one manufacturer from those of other manufacturers and are capable of being represented graphically. For every sound mark to be registered, the applicant has to prove the factual distinctiveness of the sound. The important requirement for sound mark registration is the sound of that particular product or service need to be submitted in mp3 format. India got its first sound mark registration from Yahoo in 2008. ICICI Bank was the first Indian company to register a sound mark. The most popular sound mark in India is the tune for IPL. So till now we have discussed about the types of trademarks. Now we are going to discuss what constitutes a registrable trademark. That to be a registration of a trademark, there has first to be a sign. The sign must be distinctive. For the trademark registration, the sign or the mark should be very strong. It should not be a weak trademark. What are the weak trademarks? They are descriptive in nature and the names are generic. Whereas the strong trademarks are typically creative or unique. These trademarks include fanciful, arbitrary, or suggestive trademarks. What are the fanciful trademarks? Fanciful trademarks are invented words. They only have meaning in relation to their goods or services. Example, Adidas. Another type of strong trademark is arbitrary trademarks. An arbitrary mark is a trademark that consists of a word, real word, actual word, dictionary word that have no association with underlying the goods or services. The word is used in a way that has nothing to do with its meaning. It will be a real word. However, the use of the word will have nothing to do with its actual meaning. Arbitrary marks are the strongest type of trademarks. They are given the broadest form of protection. A classic example for arbitrary trademark is the logo Apple. Apple Corporation do not have the business of Apple selling. They are not the competitor for Apple selling. They do not have any business which is relates to Apple selling. But the Apple word, the Apple logo indicates the business of consumer electronics software and online services. So the word Apple do not have any connection with the type of products or the type of services. They are arbitrary trademarks. Some other examples are Tide and Puma. Another type of strong trademark is suggestive trademark. Suggestive trademarks are words that suggest some quality of the goods or services, but don't state that quality of the goods or services outright. A suggestive mark hint at or suggest the nature of a product or service or one of its attributes without actually describing the product or service. Examples of suggestive marks are Airbus for airplanes and Netflix for streaming services. So till now we have discussed about strong trademarks. The strong trademarks are the fanciful, arbitrary or suggestive. If your trademark is fanciful, if your trademark is arbitrary, or if your trademark is suggestive, then you can get registration for your trademark. What are weaker trademarks? Weaker trademarks are generic trademarks and descriptive trademarks. So what are generic, what are descriptive? Those details we are going to discuss. We cannot get trademark registration for weaker trademarks. They are generic trademarks and descriptive trademarks. A generic trademark is a word or phrase that becomes the common term for an entire class of goods or services over time. They are not protectable under trademark law. In other words, it's a brand for a group of products. The word aspirin is one such example. It has become the common name for all products designed to relieve headaches, muscle aches, and pains, regardless of their brand. In order to be trademarked, a word or phrase must have some level of distinctiveness from other words and phrases used to describe similar products. Generic terms are not considered distinct enough for trademark protection because they refer to a whole class of products or services. A sign is generic when it defines a category or type to which the goods belong. Why the descriptive marks or the generics marks are not getting trademark registration or protection means it is essential to the trade and also to consumers that nobody should be allowed to monopolize such a generic term. Like example, if you are giving the name of trade name of furniture for your table product, furniture is the word or phrase or it is a common term for an entire class of goods, table, chair, etc. So if you name your table product as furniture, as a trademark, as a trade name, then the trademark office will not allow to get registration because the trademark office will not allow to monopolize such a generic term for your single product. Another example for generic terms are Band-Aid, a brand of adhesive paper notes. Originally, it was owned by Johnson & Johnson. Later, they lost the trademarks to genericide. Another type of signs for which we cannot get trademark registration is descriptive sign. Descriptive sign is those that serve in trade to designate the kind, quality, intended purpose, value, place of origin, time of production, or any other characteristics of the goods for which the sign is intended to be used or is being used. They are called descriptive signs. A descriptive trademark identifies one or more characteristics of a product or service. It only serves to describe the product. They are called descriptive trademarks. Examples are cold and creamy for ice cream. A potential mark for ice cream, but since it describes one of the characteristics of the product, so it is not likely to qualify as a trademark. Another example is 104 key. It describes how many keys are on a keyboard. Therefore, this could be considered descriptive. So these kind of descriptive signs cannot get trademark registration. Till now we have discussed about stronger trademarks and weaker trademarks. Very important criteria for registration trademark is your sign or symbol or mark should have distinctiveness. It should be distinctive. A sign is distinctive for the goods to which it is to be applied when it is recognized by those to whom it is addressed as identifying goods from a particular trade source, capable of being so recognized. So they are called distinctive signs. They must serve to distinguish the goods of a given enterprise from those of others. So aspirants, in this model, we have discussed many points about trademarks. The definition of a trademark, type of trademarks, the requirement for trademark registration, etc. I hope the content of this model will be helpful when you register your trademark. Thank you so much.